Hi, I'm Tim Marshall. Welcome to the R&B Showcase radio show and television show coming at you live from Tri-Jam Studios. We're here in Woodbury, New Jersey. We have a special guest, and we're talking radio today. He has over 40 years in the broadcast industry, doing voiceovers, recording as a program director, and much, much more. And he's our special guest. Also worked at many different radio stations, including Jam and Gold 95.7, right here from the Philadelphia and South Jersey market. We're going to welcome our special guest, Double D, to the R&B Showcase.
Tim, how you doing, man?
How you doing, Double D?
I haven't seen you in 20 years.
It's been a while, isn't it? It's been a while, man. We go back a little ways.
Yeah, we do.
You're being kind, say 20, right?
Thanks for having me.
It's been a while.
I haven't seen you 30 years, but yeah, 30 years.
All right. That's back far enough now.
But you look great. You look
Thank
great,
you. You as well, man.
Great.
It's good to see you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for coming here today.
No problem.
Well, we go back to what? GLS, was it?
Glassboro State College.
Glassboro State College.
WGLS, that's right.
I tell people Rowan University, but it really was Glassboro, wasn't it?
It was Glassboro State College, right?
But it's all good, man. That was a great station.
Funny thing about Glassboro State College, I had an advisor. I had 120 credits. I was getting ready to go to my last semester, or 110 credits. Went to my last semester, and I went to my advisor to pick my classes, and I was in the radio station the previous semester like a lot, and my classes kind of reflected that. And he basically said, "Yo, you'll never get a job in radio."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I dropped out of Rowan. I've dropped out of Glassboro
to say that,
and started radio, and then I had a 37-year career. Well, the career's still going. So at 2003, I decided to go back, but it was Rowan then, and they had to go into the old banker boxes to get to rematriculate me, and I rematriculated, and I finally got my degree in 2005.
So now, when I met you, that was the 90s, actually. I was with you the first time, right?
Or the 80s.
Okay, the 80s. Okay.
The 90s, I was in different cities. But
late 80s, though, right?
Late 80s.
87, right. I think is when I met you. 87, yeah. So was that your second time there? You were there a couple times?
That was my second time taking classes at was it Rowan then?
No, it was
still Glassboro State College, right? Yeah, that was my second time.
Now, Frank Hogan was the program director.
That's my man. That's my man. That's right.
Yeah, we had him on the show recently.
Did you? Yes, that's the interview I saw.
Yeah, Frank's a good guy.
Yes, he is. He's the greatest.
Yeah, I think he's still in the area too. You know.
Yeah, I think he lives on some shore somewhere in Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. But, so take us back a little bit. Now, we talked about WGLS. We actually met, and you had the Rhythm Ride. Was it the show that you had?
No, that was in Alabama. I don't know what that show was called, but yeah, I had a show there.
Double D show, and I had the Rhythm and Blues Showcase.
Yep, you
radio
had it
show.
Then.
This same show started back then in 1987 on that station.
Yeah,
but take us back a little bit. Tell us how you actually got started in this industry.
My dad. Well, all of my people in my family are educators, and my dad actually was a dean at Rowan / Glassboro State College. Anyway, he wanted me to go into computers. I graduated from high school in 1979. He wanted me to go into computers, and I went to Florida A&M University, took a computer class, didn't like it, and I found out that they had a work study program, and you could work at the radio station and be on the air for work study. I was like, wow. So I did that and came home first semester. I'm sitting down with my dad, and he was like, so how's computers? I said, I don't want to do computers. He said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be an anchor man on the radio.
Wow.
And he stopped paying for my college. He sure did. He could. Oh, he was mad. He was mad. And then I ended up transferring to Glassboro State, where he was the dean. So it was crazy. But that's how I got started. And then I got a job at a gospel station in Norristown, Pennsylvania, Gospel Highway 11, making $200 a week. I was there for 5 years.
Wow.
And of course, my dad was like, yo, man, I think you really picked the wrong career. So then I got a job at a gospel station in Washington, D.C. in like 1986, 87. And then from there, I moved to Mobile, Alabama, and worked there. I was the afternoon DJ at an urban radio station. I was on billboards and all that stuff. It was really crazy. That was really my first time doing afternoon drive on an urban radio station. And then I went from there to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, went from Harrisburg to DC again, working at a production company and V103 in Baltimore. Then I went, like in 1997, I went to Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Virginia area, worked at 103 Jams. Then I got a job in Philly around 99 at Jam and Gold. And I was there for a year. Then I went back to Norfolk. And then I was out of radio for a minute. Then I went to Alexandria, Louisiana. You know, they got bugs down there. I mean, that I've never seen before in my life. And then that was around 2005, 6. And then I was like, you know, because I was in Alexandria, Louisiana, I was like, you know, I could probably make as much money with my own production company making commercials, because I always loved to do that, and move back home. So then that's when I moved back home and started Double D Productions, and I make radio spots for different clients in different cities.
Now, becoming a DJ, was it any one person or different people who inspired you to get into the industry? And, you know, what made you say, I want to do this, to be in radio? Wow. Like any DJ host or anything?
Probably Dr. Perry Johnson from WDAS. I used to listen to him, and I used to just love, you know, love his voice and what he did. But when I was a kid, my mom used to be a speech teacher in Chester, Pennsylvania, and she used to go around to different schools, and she would take this portable reel-to-reel to different schools and have the kids talk on the microphone, and they could hear themselves. So that's kind of when I first started to get this bug or whatever. I didn't know it was a radio bug, but that's when it started.
Now, you, in addition to being an on-air, you know, DJ, you also did some programming, didn't you? Directing?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
In Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, I was in Mobile, Alabama, and then in Harrisburg, there was a station in Harrisburg that the owner owned, and it was the first black radio station in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania that played black music. And I informed him that I would like to work at that radio station, and you know, they flew me up there. The company flew me up there. I interviewed, and it wasn't until after the interview they said, well, this is for a program director position, because the radio station was a satellite radio station, and the only local personality in Harrisburg would be the program director.
Oh, wow. So
I was in charge of getting the commercials in there, and when we went local, making sure the right music was supposed to be in there and stuff like that. So it was like a jack of all trades type thing. Like if it snowed, because it was a satellite station, if it was snowing, and we had the satellite dish on the roof of the radio station because we were receiving the signal, I was the one that had to go on the roof to clean the satellite dish, because when snow covers the dish, you lose the signel.
I was going to ask you, what does that entail to be a program director? But you're telling me all of those things too. Wow. Yes. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
So being
I didn't like that part.
Okay. Now, did you do a number of different places as a program director?
No, it was just there. I was production director at a lot of
production director. So what does it entail to be a production director for those who don't know?
Creation of commercials. I love to make commercials. I've always loved that aspect of the broadcasting business. And when you're a production director at a radio station, you are in charge of the production inventory. You have to make sure every commercial is in the position that it's supposed to be for the DJ to select that commercial to play when the log calls for it. That's basically it. And of course, you have to create, you know, local commercials. And you know, I'm you know, my style for doing production. I'm like a high energy jock. I do a lot of commercials, of club commercials, party commercials, concert commercials, those types of things. So you know, if you hear like this guy's really excited, oh, you gotta be there, you gotta be there. You know, I do that kind of thing with sound effects, bombs, whistles, music, the whole thing.
How did you develop that? Because that's something I admire about you, that be able to have that energy. How did you come up with that? Develop that voice that you do?
Well, I was working at a station in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
It was a gospel station, and there was a production guy. He had his own production company. His name was Jack Daniels.
Okay.
And I had a chance to go there one day. I was also the production director of that station in D.C., and I went to Jack Daniels because I just had a chance to go there. And I saw it. I was like, wow. And they were like, well, he at the time, he had a spot that he needed done. He wanted to do a 2-voice spot. And I said, sure, I'll be the other voice. So he comes in with his high pressure thing, and I'm coming in with what my high pressure thing is. And he cut the tape off. He said, no, you have to go above and beyond what you just did. Cause and I just kept developing that style. And that's what I do. I do other styles too. I do comm commercials and stuff like that, but that high power thing is the bread and butter.
Mm-hmm. That's what I know you from, doing that high powered sound. We think it's double D, that high powered sound.
It doesn't sound like it now, but I used to say every time I did a voice track like that, it took half a second off of my life.
Because a lot of the jocks they really sweat when they do that stuff. You got to start taking off layers of clothes to get it done. So you produce a lot of other people in production as well, right? Like some of the other jocks. If one of my clients calls for a 2-voice commercial, I do have different voices, people across the country. It's about 5 or 6 of them that I can select, and I'll send them the copy. I'll be on the phone when they are reading the copy, and I'll be directing them that way, and then they email it to me. Then I put it all together. Yeah. Now, as a radio personality, did you get a chance to do a lot of shows, hosting shows and things? Tell us about some of the shows.
Doing concerts, man. I used to love that. And the one thing I used to love about doing concerts was when you got on that microphone at a place that holds 25,000 people, and you talk in that microphone and you can hear your voice. I used to fall in love with that. But I've done a lot of concerts, a lot of hip hop concerts. I've had a chance. I've done some comedy concerts. I've had a chance to meet a lot of people. Patti LaBelle, Tony, in different cities. Grover Washington Jr.
Okay.
Those are the only ones I can remember right at this second.
You did a lot of clubs too. I did things with Jam and Gold. You and Joe Colari did some things, right?
Yes, me and Joe Colari. Yeah. That's when I first met Joe Colari. I always knew about Joe.
All right.
But
tell us about working with Joe. What was that experience like?
Joe is the most prepared club DJ I've ever met in my life. I mean, he had, when we were DJing together, he had all his equipment, he had all his records or whatever. They were all, I don't know how he did it. But anyway, when it was time for me to talk, because I was at Jam and Gold, when it was time for me to talk, he would say, okay, you have 16.5 seconds and you got to hit the mark, because the words of the song or whatever were coming up after that. And he would be in the back and I'd have the microphone. I'd be in the middle of the club and he'd point, go. And then I'd do my thing. And it was crazy. He is a great guy. He really is a great guy. Yep. He's a good friend.
Joe's been everywhere. I mean, he worked at all the stations in Philadelphia. So, I'm glad you guys had a chance to work together. I actually did get a chance to come out to one of your live gigs with him when you guys were in that club. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the club. It was
called Club Retro.
Okay.
On Route 70 in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
You were working though. You guys were so busy running all around that place, and you had the audience hyped and everything. It was a great to see you guys work together.
Now, by that time, my dad was kind of proud of me, and he would come to the club for my club gigs, but he would never come up to me. He would be in the booth in the back in the corner in the dark. and somebody would come up to me and go, Double D, I think your father's here. I was like, what are you doing here? He said, I just came to see Junior.
Well, you made us all proud to hear you on. I turned that radio on, I heard Double. I said, Double D's on Jam and Gold.
And another great thing about that was that I had a chance to perform my craft, like you say, in front of people that I knew from from Glassboro State College.
Right.
But I went to Glassboro High School too, and a lot of my high school classmates came to see me when I was there because they knew I went to Glassboro High School too.
Introduce the band.
I know they're antsy to play over here, so I guess guys, give it up for the Dead Flowers, baby. They're ready to rock and roll.
So, what are your thoughts on the broadcast industry today? I mean, thoughts on it?
It's like nothing. It's nothing like it was back in the day. I mean, it's few and far between to hear a live jock on the air because they're all voice tracking their show, and voice tracking means that they pre-record their show and they place it where the music's going to be in the computer, and the computer automatically plays the show. And from that vantage point, there's this. It's hard to be in this business full time. There's nobody making any money. They're not. I mean, there are some people making money, obviously, but yo, I'm glad I didn't come up in it now.
Well, satellite seems to be a big thing now. They're doing like
they got Sirius now. You get on Sirius now. I mean, Sirius has a good flow, but
they didn't think that was going to be as big as it was. Remember when Howard Stern started out with Sirius XM, and now they didn't think it was going to last, but it's really got to be big.
No, it is big.
Sirius XM. It's all over. Everybody listens to that now, so that's a good thing.
I do too.
Yes. What advice would you give to people wanting to get into this industry, broadcasting? As a DJ or a programmer?
Well, you have to be dedicated to it. I mean, you just straight out have to bleed this, eat, sleep this thing if you want to do this and nothing else. I mean, when I went to college, when I was at Glassboro State College, they advised us, you need to get a minor just in case this doesn't work. And then when guests would come into the classroom, they would tell you to look to your left and your right and say, those two people are probably not going to be in this business. So they just have to, you have to know your craft, whatever you want to do. If you want to be an on-air announcer, or if you want to do production, which is make commercials and things like that, you have to just dedicate your life to it, as well as, whatever else you're going to do. But I wouldn't advise people getting into this business and this be the only thing that they're doing, especially if you're like a rank and file type of person. Now, if you're a star, you're going to get paid, but you got to take a minor. I didn't take a minor. I didn't take a minor. I'm like, what? What's the deal?
You had to make it work, you know?
I didn't take a minor. And even now, I still think about that. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, you just have to, you just got to make sure you're organized and how you want to, do this and go try to go visit radio stations, in your market and see if somebody will mentor you or something like that, and bring if you can, if you can make a tape or something, and, you can get a coach, but it's hard. It's just really hard. I have a few people that are my proteges. So I've when you help people, I've helped a few people.
Yeah, bring it back around.
Yeah.
Well, you got me on NAP.
Yeah, I did. I got you.
Norristown. So I never forget that.
I heard your voice. I said, wow.
You put
I got to use his voice.
It was 11:10, was it? Or
11:10 a.m.
Gospel Highway.
They went dark.
Highway 11.
They went dark.
Yeah. They're not on anymore. Huh?
Yeah, they are. They're on the internet. But
okay.
Yeah. I went there. I was there for their last day I did a documentary for Gospel Highways.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's good. Tell us about Double D Productions. What do you do? And, folks that want to know more about your company.
Double D Productions is a radio audio production company. I write, voice, and produce radio commercials. I do have a, for different clients in different cities. Okay. I really don't have that many clients in the Philadelphia area, but my style of production is popular down south. I have a lot of clients in Miami, Houston, Dallas, Nashville, Atlanta, Augusta, Georgia. And my company also has a TV arm. So if you need a radio commercial or a TV commercial or a video to promote your business, I'm a one-stop shop.
Okay.
And, you contact me, you send me the money, give me the bullet points.
Oh my, that's great. Yeah. But that's fantastic. So
COVID, when COVID hit, COVID took about 85% of my business immediately. I mean, I was calling my phone to see if my phone was still ringing. So that was when I started Double D's Classic Hip Hop, the show that I'm doing now. because somebody
tell us about it.
Well, let's say it's an old school hip hop show, but we play old school hip hop and R&B.
Okay.
And I was looking. When the person that stepped to me that wanted to run a show that I produced on his station, that was an internet station. I wasn't even thinking about that, but then I started, as I started doing the show, I started thinking about, hey, I could syndicate this show and make some money through advertising and stuff like that. And now I have 5 affiliates.
Wow.
One affiliate is in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that's the over-the-air affiliate. So I got 4, all 5 of them are on internet, but 5 internet and 1 over-the-air affiliate I have. And I love the show. It's a lot of work. It's a tremendous amount of work, but it's going to pay off, and it is paying off. It is paying off. Yeah.
Now, when does the show air? How can people listen to it?
Well, usually I'm on the weekends. I'm on 5 times on the weekend. I'm on one internet station from 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturday. I'm on the over-the-air station in Chattanooga, Tennessee from 7 to 9. I'm on another internet station, which is AngeloLamarRadio.com. The other one is G93WMPZ.com. Okay. And the first one was thegroove247.com. And that's on Saturday. Sundays, I run on 105.7thebeatjams.com from 5 to 7 p.m. And then I'm on this, it's an underground urban station called Game Changers Radio. And I'm on that station from 8 to 10 on Sundays.
Now, is your style predominantly hip hop that you do?
Yeah, I do. It's probably about 70% hip hop, but I do play a lot of old school R&B. And I'm usually playing music between 1985 and 2006, about 2008, 9. However, I do have a segment on my show. It's called The Classic Time Machine, and that's when I will play a song from before 85, like 1980, 1979, something like that.
So if any independent artists want to get in touch with you, do you play any independent releases from artists that are just getting out there?
Probably if I have a segment on my show where I interview people.
Okay, that's my question.
And it's called the Top 5, and they'll give me their top 5 hip hop songs of 2001 or something. And if they were with a group, like I'm interviewing somebody tomorrow that is with a band that plays locally here in Philadelphia, Atlantic City, and casinos and stuff. And when I do have guests, I do, in between the songs, I do ask them about, like you're doing with me, ask them about their show and or about their performance and things like that. And then, kind of towards the end of that segment, I'll have them do a freestyle, or something like that, or play a part of their song or something like that.
That's great. Getting it out there. Yeah. And supporting our youth and independent artists. That's a great thing, man. I appreciate it. So anybody want to send a shout out to you today out there?
Me shout out?
Yeah. Well, definitely Frank Hogan.
Frank. Oh man, so you caught me off guard there. Frank Hogan, my man.
Joe Too Cool,
Kalari, Steve McKay, that used to be the program director of Jam and Gold when I was there.
Was Glenn Colina there when you were there? Wasn't he there? Who? Glenn Colina. Do you know him?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Right. I thought he was at the station.
James Alexander. He's a heavyweight in the urban radio. Hired Donnie Simpson, yada yada in Detroit. He has helped me tremendously, especially with my show. Steve Crumley. I learned a lot of. You got to keep playing the hits. You got to keep playing the hits and a style from him as far as my show is concerned. I can't remember Jack Daniels, Eric Hollywood Davis. He's a great friend of mine. Right. My daughter, Nicole, my daughter, Kia, my grandkids.
You work with a lot of people, though, over the years.
Yes, I have. I have worked with a lot of people, and I'm proud to.
That's a great thing. Yeah. So, well, Double D, man, it was good seeing you. It's been a while.
Man, it's been great.
And, I remember working at GLS in Glassboro.
I remember that, man. I remember that.
I think you did Thursday nights. We had a whole block on Thursday nights.
It was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Sunday? I don't remember.
It was Sunday, then it changed it to Thursday.
Oh, they changed it to Thursday.
You were
Okay,
a Thursday night show.
I did that, and I remember when
Throwdown, Thursday night throwdown.
Is that what it was called?
I think it was.
Might have been it. That might have been it. But I remember when you came up to me and you wanted to. You were telling me, I'm doing a show. Or were you on there then too?
Rhythm and Blues Showcase.
I did doing the R&B Showcase
I
then.
did Thursday. I think I was on the afternoon, and Freddie C was on there. He did some shows.
Okay.
And, Norm Donahue. Norm,
right. Norm, that was then.
Al Miller was the
Al Miller. Yeah. And I also did GLS when they were in the Savage Library in the basement.
Right.
That's when I was. That was in the early.
Well, that's when I was there. I was in Savage Library.
Okay, that was in Savage.
Then they moved to another location.
Okay, then they moved to location. Okay, yeah. So we
used to have the bins. Remember, we used to have the album bins.
The album had carts.
Cart machine. People don't remember cart machines.
The edit tapes. Yeah. They still have my picture at GLS.
You were a wizard that, though, editing. You could. Wow. These talking reel-to-reel tapes.
That's production. That's what I do.
People don't realize that was different back then. It wasn't all this technology that we have today.
Double D Productions, man.
You were good at that, Yeah.
It was great.
That was a great thing. It was some great times, man. It's good to see you here today.
And I'm proud of you, too, man.
Thank you, man.
Because obviously I haven't seen you since 1987, right? So I remember I saw your name or something. I don't know how we became friends, but whether you did me or I befriended me or I befriended you. But I remember, we and then I could go through your thing, and then I saw the R&B Rhythm and Blues show. I said, he's still doing that show.
Yes, yeah, man.
Wow,
still doing it. You know?
Yeah.
I've been on different
on
stations.
TV. Well, on TV too.
Yes,
I'm like, check him out. So I'm really proud of you.
I kept it going,
man.
And it's
but see, you did it the right way. See, you have another career.
Yeah, well, I work in education too. So,
see, I didn't do it the right way.
I was looking at those benefits and things.
Right.
But,
I'm just thanking God.
Yeah, but it's all good, It's all good, and
see,
I'm glad you're still doing it.
There were more union radio stations,
right.
Then that would be cool, but
yeah, it's changed a lot. Because it's changed a lot over the years. But I'm glad it's still we still get creative in our ways of getting this out there to the people and getting the message out there. There's a lot of noise out there, but good stuff will rise to the top.
And that's what I'm trying to do with the show.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do with the show. I'm trying to make that right noise so that we can get affiliates and get advertising and it's going to be great. Check me out on Facebook.
Yeah, we definitely will. May get a website also.
Keyword Double D Productions. No, I do not. But I'm working on it. I had one, but I'm working on it.
Facebook will work fine.
Just look up Double D Productions. No, well, you could look up Double D Productions, but you can also look up Double D's Classic Hip Hop. Those are the two ways you can.
Okay.
You can, follow me.
Thank you for helping bring me along in the beginning.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on your show, man.
Absolutely, man.
Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot. I'm Tim Marshall for R&B Showcase Radio and Television Show. Our special guest, Double D. Be on the lookout for his show. And thank you for joining us for R&B Showcase Live.